All right, everyone, welcome. Welcome to today's webinar. My name is Basil, and I will be giving you all a tour through the Luxury Presence platform. I do want to give it a couple more minutes here. We have a large group today, so I want to give it some time for everyone to join. And while we're waiting, I am going to share a couple links in our chat here. These links, first one I will be sharing will be the login URL that you all will use to access the dashboard. Plug that in there. And I also will be sharing our Help Center. Our Help Center has a lot of helpful step-by-step guides on how to do certain things within the platform. So please make sure to bookmark those two links. We'll just give it a couple more minutes here. Let's see. See, we have a couple more people trickling in right now, so we'll get started here in just a moment. All right, well, let's get started. As I mentioned earlier, my name is Basil. I may have worked with a couple of you before. If not, then it is a pleasure to meet you all today. I'm excited to give you all a guide through our Luxury Presence platform. We'll go over a couple of the features that you'll see when you log in, go over just a couple of the different areas where you will see content through the dashboard. And if you all happen to have any questions, please use the chat feature. Due to the size of the call, everyone will be muted. So please ask any questions that you have in the chat as we go through. All right, so here, right when you log into your Luxury Presence dashboard, you will be brought to this page. Treat this as if it were the home page of the dashboard. You'll see that it'll always have a message here that says welcome back, and it'll have your name, my name being Basil. That's what you'll see there. Now, here in this section, you'll see that there are going to be two tutorials that you can watch, and I do recommend taking the time to watch them. These are going to be related to property sites, which we'll go a little into today. If you haven't already, you can book a session for our Thursday webinar. It'll be a bit of a more advanced training to give you more of a direct view as to how to utilize these tools, but we'll do a little bit of it today. And then here you have our presentation tutorial, and we'll go over a little bit of that as well. Now here under Discover More Tools, this is something that will be updated over time. Anytime we happen to have any new tools that will be available to you want to use, you can look at this at any time to see any of the new tools that will be implemented as we continue to push out more options for you all. And Juan, I do see your question. Yes, this is being recorded. So if for any reason you happen to miss anything in today's session, we will be sending out recordings for you to refer to. All right, so other than that, on that same section or that same section within the dashboard, you're going to see our insights here. What this is that it's going to be a direct view of the work that, or excuse me, of the visits that occur on your site. And one, no problem at all. We're happy to have these options for you all to look at later. But yes, so you'll see that our site has had 87 visitors. You'll get to see the outline as to how many visitors have visited per day and which pages have been viewed. Now, aside from that, you have our lead events. Lead events here, this is going to be just a breakdown of what has been submitted in terms of contact inquiries on your site. Right here, you'll see that when I highlight this area, you'll see that this area contact inquiries will be the only option not grayed out. So you know exactly what this is referring to. Another example here, favorited MLS listings. So anytime someone has favorited a listing through your website, you'll be able to see how many times a listing has been favorited. Now next, you see lead activity. This is going to be information that is stored onto your dashboard anytime any lead info is submitted on your website. So for an example, you'll see here, this is an example too, interested to use Google sign-on from this page. Each of these where it says this page is a hyperlink that's going to take you directly to the page where that info was submitted. So if I click here, it's going to open up and it'll show you that the information was submitted on this page here. All right. Okay. And now we'll go ahead and go to the next section. We're going to take a look at the context section. So this is where your lead info is stored. So similar to what we were looking at with lead events, this is where you'll see the contact information for any lead that submits information on your website. So you'll see here, this is a submission that was submitted on December 10th. We can even click into the lead. When you click into that lead, you'll be able to see their first and last name, email, phone number, location if they submitted it, and any notes that they happen to submit when they submitted that contact form. So something here could be, let's say that they said that they were looking to buy a home. You'll see that information populate there. And now we also have this new feature. This is our create a saved search. So let's say that you got in touch with this lead and they gave you a certain criteria for what they were looking for in a home, and you wanted to create that saved search. All of that would be featured here. So let's say that I want to have a saved search from our main website. I'll click and choose the website that I want it to come from, and then I'll click on create a new search. Let's say that I am looking in, let's say, figure that out there. Let's say Phoenix, Arizona. Let's see. So I'll click there. No, where did it go? Let's get this out of the way. There we go. So you'll see that it's going to highlight Phoenix, Arizona. Let's say I don't have a minimum price range. Let's say that my maximum is 1 million. Let's say that I am looking for a studio with 2 baths. And then here you can choose, let's say I'm looking for residential, commercial, multifamily, whatever it may be. You can choose those options there. It even goes in depth to allow you to choose the square footage, lot size, any of those questions, or excuse me, any of those fields that the client is interested in. Once I do all of that and fill out all these fields that match the criteria that the client is looking for, I'll click on next. Let's say this is Basil's dream home. I would type in the name of the search so I know what it's referring to. And now this is where you can choose email frequency. So let's say that someone is looking for a property that is based on the criteria that I've submitted, which you can still see up here as well. Let's say that you wanted them to have instant updates. So anytime anything is listed on the MLS that is relevant to their search, you can choose that option. Or if you wanted it to be once per day, where it is a culmination of properties related to the search, as opposed to it sending instantly and just wanted to have, let's say, one list that is going to document all of the properties related to the search, you can set that, and so on and so forth with these other options. So that is the example there. Go ahead and leave that for now. And here too is another tutorial that you can watch. I believe it actually is the same tutorial that you'll see on that home page. But you can look at this and this will give you a full breakdown. Our advanced webinar that takes place on Thursdays, that will give you a more in-depth explanation as to how this information is utilized and how it's featured on your site. All right. Now we're going to take a look at our content section. This is where a lot of information that is going to be showcased on your website, this is where it populates. We'll start at the top with agents. So these are the agents that you have that are on your team that you want to showcase on your website. You can choose to add additional agents. You can even choose to remove additional agents if you're ever looking to downsize your team. So let's say that you wanted to remove an agent. All you have to do is hover over top of it and you would click delete agent there. And that would remove the agent not only from the back end where we're looking at today, but it would remove them from the front end of the site as well. Now, if you want to add a new agent, we'll go there and we will add me as the example. And then you would add an email address. So just do this. There. Anywhere you see an asterisk, it is going to be a required field. So just keep that in mind. But we'll plug those in there. Then if you wanted to add a little bio on the agent, agent bio, and do that as well. And you can even add an image of the agent. So for an example, we'll go ahead and add in that there. All right. And this is how you would add an additional agent to your team. Just click save here. And you'll see my profile pop up there and even the date that it was created. So you'll see that it was created today. All right. And now Teams. So Teams, this is a new feature that we happen to implement just recently. Now, let's say that you have a brokerage that's rather large and you have teams that are spread out throughout the country. You can add additional teams here. This way you can kind of add a filter to what agents work with which team and which location. So you can do that. And now you have blog posts. Blog posts are going to be a great way for you to push more SEO. And it's another way for you to have it's another way for you to be in contact with your clients. So let's say that you wanted to add a new blog post. We'll do an example. So we'll do Basil's for Christmas. All right. So you'd plug in the title there. This is where you would add the actual content that you'd like to feature on that blog post. So let's say, as an example, this is a test blog. And you can even assign categories. Now, categories is something where let's say that you wanted it to be more related to lifestyle, or if you wanted it to be more related to real estate as a whole, but you wanted to specify what that blog is related to, you can just add in a category here. Our team on Thursday, they will go a little more in depth on how it's featured on your site, but this is just an example of what you would do on the dashboard here. You can even add in an image. So let's say we'll do, actually I like this one. We'll do that one. You can add in an image there as well. And now you'll see here under SEO, You do want to add a title. I do recommend doing this with any of the blog posts that you have. So let's say that someone types in, when they're doing a Google search, let's say that they type in um, basil Christmas, or let's say that they type in Christmas or basil separately. This is going to help it populate in the Google searches. So you definitely want to make sure that you add an SEO title there. And now you'll see these options. So you can choose to publish it on the day that you create it if you would like, or if you want to fine tune it a bit more before you push it live on the site, you can choose to switch it to draft. This will only create the blog post on the back end, but it will not feature it on the front end of the site. And then there's scheduled. So let's say that this is a post that I wanted to um, be pushed live on my site on Christmas Day. I would choose the day that I would like for it to be published. You can even choose the time. So let's say I do 1 p.m. And then all you have to do is click schedule here. When you click schedule, it's not going to add it directly to your website until it reaches the day of the scheduled post. So this post will not post onto the website until Christmas Day. So you can add them ahead of time. So then if you want them to post at a later date, but you want to get it out of the way, you can do that there. All right. And now on to the next section. This is developments. So let's say that you are a development broker, you're wanting to showcase upcoming developments in your area. You can add these developments to this section. So we can even look at the Excelsior as an example. So here you can add in the name, you can add in a short description of the development, but then you can add a more in-depth description. So let's say that you wanted to showcase let's say the size, or excuse me, let's say you wanted to showcase the different options that are available within this development in terms of a 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, amenities and things that are available there. You can add that information to this description field. And you can even choose where this is going to be located. So right now you'll see it says Excelsior Drive in Norwalk, California. Let's say that it is a place. I'm based in Arizona as an example. So let's say I wanted to have it be Glendale, Arizona. It's going to outline that for you so you don't have to do the work. And when people look at the development on your website, it'll show them exactly where it's located. And now here, you'll see that it says 0 properties. Let's say that you happen to have properties that are being listed through the MLS that are connected to this development. You can link those properties to the development. So anytime someone goes to the development page on your website, it'll also show them the properties that you have connected to your MLS that are connected to that development. And here you'll see that it does have an SEO title and a custom URL key. These are going to be important for you to insert just to improve your SEO and anything that is related to a Google search. All right. And now on to the next section. This is neighborhoods. So if you wanted to showcase the primary areas of focus for your brokerage, you can add those neighborhoods here. We'll click into this one as the example. You see that it has the neighborhood name. This can be another short description for you to add, but you can add a full description as well if you want to be a little bit more in depth. And now you have demographics and map. So here you can type in the city that that neighborhood is located in. So when people look at the neighborhood section on your website, it'll show them exactly where that neighborhood is located. And the same thing as developments. If you wanted to link specific properties that are located within this neighborhood, you can add those here. And the same thing here with the SEO. You do want to make sure to insert this so it improves your SEO for your site. All right. And now offices, this is pretty straightforward. This will be for physical office locations. So if you wanted to showcase the different locations that you have for your offices, you can add those here. And now you have press releases. Press releases are going to be pretty similar to blog posts, but we do have elements within our website builder that would allow you to choose an element specific to press releases as opposed to it all being located within blog posts. So if you ever have a press release that you do want to share, you would just add those here within this section just by clicking on Add New here in the top right-hand corner. And now we'll do testimonials. Testimonials, just as straightforward as they would be anywhere else. If you want to showcase certain testimonials on your website that clients have left for you, you can insert them here. So let's say the author, I'll be the author here. Testimonial body, let's say something along those lines. You can choose the photo here. Yeah, we'll do Fido. That's fine. So instead of photo, let's do Fido. Fido is amazing. You would just insert that image there. Same thing here with SEO. You'll see that pretty much through any area on the dashboard where you would be adding content. You'll see this field a lot, and you do want to plug those SEO titles in. And then I would just click Save. And now we'll scroll through, and you'll see it pop up right there. All right. And now let's take a step back. We're going to go through properties. So this is going to be what I consider the bread and butter of your website. Anytime you have an MLS sync authorized on your dashboard, those properties will populate within this section. You'll notice here, it says MLS sync and ID. It says on. This means that anything that is updated within the MLS related to this property, it will automatically update it for you. So you don't have to go through and manually update, let's say, listing price. If you change the listing price within your MLS feed, it'll automatically update that listing price here. But then, for example, you'll see ones like this. So this is a manually added listing. Let's say that you had an off-market listing that you wanted to showcase on your website, but seeing that it doesn't have an MLS sync connected, it's not going to populate the data from the MLS feed. You would just insert it manually, and I'll go ahead and we'll do an example there for that. But first, let's click into this property here that has the MLS sync on. So here, you'll see that a lot of these fields are grayed out or they won't allow you to click within the field. That just means that it is information that is being directly pulled from the MLS that is automatically updated for you. So you'll see that in a couple of sections here, such as property status, MLS vendor. A lot of these things will stay the same or they just will update based on what you input to the MLS. Same thing with sales price, anything that's going to be located here. And now let's look at the manual listing. So Polkadot, we'll look at this one. You see that the fields here are not grayed out. It's because of the fact that this listing isn't connected to the MLS. So you can go into these and you can make adjustments to them. And same with the property status. If you wanted to change that, let's say we wanted to change it to sold instead, because it did sell, but since it's not connected to the MLS, it's not going to automatically update that status. And Judith, I see your question. How do you add off-market listing? Yeah, so we'll go ahead and I'll show you how exactly you would do it. So here, where it says add new in the top right-hand corner, you would click there. And let's say we wanted to do Fido Lane. You would plug in the property name. Property name is, and well, it just depends. So let's say that you wanted to just have the property name be the same as the address. But let's say that 123 Fido Lane is a property, let's say it's a beachfront property. Instead of having the address as the property name, but you wanted to showcase it under a different name, you can insert that here while still inserting the address within this location. Now we'll say for sale. Now here you see where it says set custom property status. Let's say I wanted to do something specific, like here, summer rental, and I wanted to insert that. This will override this property status here. Property statuses, they're going to be the typical statuses that you would see when it comes to a property status on the MLS. But if I wanted to override it with something more specific, you can enter it within this field. And now let's say that I was the listing agent for this and I wanted to be showcased. I can choose the agent that is going to be connected to this property. And you can add any additional information within these fields that's relevant to the property. So that there. And it can go very in depth as you can see. You can do the features and amenities. And then it can even go as far as the building information. And now properties or property files, let's say that you wanted to showcase the floor plan. You can add files in this section. Let's say you wanted to add quotes that came from previous owners of the home. You can add that to this section as well. And the same as every other section, you do have that SEO section of the property where you do want to insert a title that is going to be relevant to what people may search for on Google. And now here you have images. This is where you would want to add different images that you have of the property so that people can see exactly, what the inside of the property looks like, the area around it. You can add that here. And that is how you would add an off-market listing. All right. So that is going to be the content section of our dashboard. So let's go to the next section. This will be listing feeds. So what our listing feeds are is that these are feeds that have been created by users of Luxury Presence and only Luxury Presence. So let's say that someone had a listing in Bespoke Florida beach houses. We can click into it. And this is going to show you properties that people have added to this private feed that are relevant to Bespoke Florida beach houses. So if you wanted to, let's say, get connected with an agent, or if you wanted to have referrals, you can do so by choosing to connect to these listing feeds. Another cool thing about it is that if you wanted to have additional properties to showcase on your website that are relevant to what you're looking to sell. So let's say that you're an agent who is based in Bespoke, Florida, who has a certain amount of beach houses, but you want to showcase more. You can connect with members of this listing feed to ask if they are open to you showcasing additional properties that have been input to these listing feeds. So that is our listing feed section there. And now we'll go into websites. And yes, this is a perfect example. So here, this is where any of your websites will be located. So let's say that we wanted to make edits to your main website. You would hover over top of the website that you want to make edits to. You'll see that there's an edit icon there. And on Thursday, when we have our advanced webinar, they'll go more in depth on how you can make edits to your site. But this is where you would go if you do want to make those edits. And now you see this here. You'll see that there is a property website for one of the properties that we have on our dashboard. And let's go over how you would create those. So we'll take a step back, go to properties, and this is the property that is connected to that property website we saw a moment ago. But let's say that we wanted to create a new one. So all you would do is choose the property that you want to create a property site for. So let's say we want to do this one. So I'll click into it. And up here to the top right-hand corner beside cancel, you see there's that globe icon that says create site. So I'll click on that. Say test property site. So you would give it a name. Typically the name, it would be the address, or like I was saying earlier, when you want to give a more specific title to a property, you can add that here. And now the type, we do want it to be a property website. And then you have design, and you have two options, the Pinnacle and the Edge. Pinnacle is going to be one of our more popular templates, so we'll use that as the example. I'll click on that option, click continue. And now we have a property website. So what's really cool about these is that any of the information that is featured on the property within that property section of your dashboard, it'll automatically pull into the website. So you don't have to go about creating the website and then add in information for these fields. It'll do it for you. But let's say that I wanted to change, let's say the title. I can click edit to the top right-hand corner, hover over the section I want to make edits to, click into it. And let's say I didn't like this title and I wanted to override it with something else. I can plug a new title in here and it'll override what was there. So you can make edits to it if you're not liking what is being pulled from the listing on the dashboard. I can even change this here. So let's say I just wanted it to say Florida. And now it overrides that. So you can tailor these sites as you would like, but if you are just satisfied with what is being provided through the sync of the property, you can keep it all the same. It'll do the work for you. So let's do save. And now that I've saved, the edits that I made to that section will stay there. And if you want to make changes to them later on, you always can. You can go right back into the section and override it again if you would like. So let's do Florida here as well. This is an example. And it will update again. I'll click save. And those new updates I've made are now there and input onto my property website. All right. So we'll leave the website builder. And this is that property website showing right there. Shows that I edited it 2 minutes ago. You'll see no domain is assigned. Anytime you have a domain that is assigned to a website, you'll see that pop up right here. All right. And now we'll go over our presentation section. Presentations, these are something that you can make. Let's say that you had a listing presentation for a client and you want it to showcase properties that are relevant to what they're looking for, you can create presentations through this section. Our advanced webinar on Thursday will go more in depth on these, but this is just an additional option. These are free for you all to use. If you're ever looking to just showcase certain information to a client, you can create presentations through this section. And now we'll go into our reporting tab. And now reporting is a super helpful section. This is going to show you the website visits that have accrued over a certain period of time, which you can edit in this field. So you have that here. Traffic channels. This is going to show you where people are coming from to view your website. So for an example, when I hover over this, I see that people are coming from Google to visit my website, and so on and so forth with these additional areas that you'll see. You'll see that some people come from Facebook as well to visit the site. So all of that information populates here. You have device data. So you'll see that the majority of our users are coming from Google Chrome as opposed to these other search engines. And now you'll see here to the right-hand side, these are popular website pages. The slash, that is going to be your home page of your website. You'll see that that's where we have the most active views, but you'll see that it gives you a breakdown of other pages that have views as well. So our buyers page has 7 views, Contact Me has 6, and so on and so forth within these sections. And Judith, I see your question. So I can build a website for a home and showcase it. Yes. So yeah, you can build a website for a specific property. And let's say that you did want to showcase it on your Facebook page. All you would do is copy the domain that's connected to that property site and then share that on your Facebook page. So then when people click on that domain, it will take them directly to that property site that you created for that specific property. And if anyone was wanting to know Judith's question, if you can't see it, her question was, so I can build a website for a home and showcase it on Facebook. Anytime you build a property site for a home and you want to showcase it through your social media, you can do that anytime just by sharing the URL that's connected to that property site. All right. And now for the last section here within our reporting tab, you're going to see website traffic time. This is going to showcase when your site is most popular, dependent upon the time of day. So you'll see that the most popular time of day for us, for our website, would be 9 a.m. The majority of views take place at that time. So you'll be able to see when people are viewing it, dependent upon that time of day. So you have that there. All right, so that's going to cover these here. Now we'll take a dive into these areas at the bottom. You'll see here is our search section. So let's say that I had forgotten how to add an agent, for an example. I can just type in add agent. All right, there we go. And then I can click on that. And it's going to take me directly to the page where I would add an additional agent. So that's a super helpful tool if you ever get lost. But if it doesn't give you the right answers, or if you're still confused after you use that tool, you can contact support at any time, and we'd be more than happy to help as well. And now you have your notification section here. So let's say that a lead alert comes through and you didn't see the notification, you'll see that this bell will be highlighted with the notification related to it. And now let's move this guy, close this. You're gonna move for me? Okay. Well, this tool is being a little finicky with me. It's not allowing me to click here. But when you're on your dashboard, you'll see this section here at the bottom. It'll have your initials. When you click within that button there, it'll open up your site settings. In your site settings, this is going to show you the login information that you have, any additional users that you have. And I want to see if we can bypass this little field so I can show you because I would love to get a chance to show you how that works. Let's see. There we go. Perfect. Okay, so let's click into settings here. And now you'll see my profile. So you'll have your first and last name, your email. This here is the lead alert email. So this is going to be the email address that will receive any email notification of a lead submission. So anytime someone submits information on your website, it will go to this email. You'll see that it is blacked out here. This is something that our product team is working on currently, but there is an email address there, and that is the email address that would receive those lead alert emails. So there's that. Go into company and brand. No need to look there. That is something that, if anything, our advanced team will go over with you all a little more in depth, but this is going to be an important section. So your users, these are going to be the people who have access to your dashboard, and there are different permissions. So if you click Add New, for example, you'll see these three options. You have admin. This is someone who would have full access to your website, your dashboard, and to be able to create and manipulate edits to your dashboard and websites. You have member access. So let's say that you had a specific agent. I'll click on me for an example. And you wanted them to be able to access the dashboard to make edits that are only relevant to areas where they're connected. So let's say that I'm connected to a specific property and you'd like for me to be able to go in and make edits to that property, but no additional edits elsewhere. You would choose that member access. And then you have guest. So when you set someone to a guest user, they will only be able to look at the platform, but they will not be able to make any edits to the platform. So you'll see that as an option as well. Now, for both member and guest, you'll see it says you'll see it says CMS profile. What that means is that these are profiles that have been added to that agent content section that we went over earlier. So you would just choose the agent, click, and you can choose to invite them. This is someone who's already been invited, so you will see that they will have a error message pop up here. That is only because they've already been added as a user. But if it is someone new who doesn't have member access, you won't have this pop up. It'll just take you out of this page and say here to the right-hand corner that invite was sent. Now for admin, this is something that I see clients will do. Let's say that you have someone specific that you've hired to make edits to the site for you. You do have the option of the CMS profile, so you can add them if they are an agent listed within your content section. But if they're outside of your agency and it's a third party that you're looking to have access to the website to make edits for you, you can plug in their first, last name, email address, you can click invite, and then they'll have access to the platform as well. All right. And these additional areas help and support. For example, if you are needing any additional support, this will take you to our help center, which I linked earlier. And I am going to link the two resources I linked at the beginning of the meeting before the end, just in case you may have not gotten in here in time to see them. So I will make sure to link them again, but that will open you up to our help center. This is what that looks like. And now, if you do have questions and you can't find the answer within our Help Center, you'll see here, close out of that, over to the right-hand side, there's this chat with bot option. This will open up a chat with our AI bot, but let's say that you wanted to get in touch with an actual agent that's a part of our support team. Speak with agent. She'll analyze the request and then get you connected with someone. But we'll close that out for now. And Adria, I'm looking over your question right now. Okay, so I see, Adria, your question. Are you able to go over how to upload CSV of contacts, or is that in the Help Center? So that is something that is covered in our advanced webinar. If you go to our site, there should be, if you haven't done so already, the option to register for that webinar that takes place on Thursdays, and they will be a little bit more in depth on how to upload a CSV, especially for your contacts. Yeah, no problem. All right. And then we have media gallery. This is just going to be all of the images that you've added over time to your website. This is just an area that's going to house all of those images that you have added to your site. So that is there. And let's see. Other than that, that is all for today. One moment before I let you all go, I am going to add those links back into the chat in case you didn't see those at the beginning. Those are added there. All right, everyone. Well, that is going to cover our webinar for today. I do appreciate you all joining. If you do have any questions, please do not hesitate to reach out to support@luxurypresence.com. That is going to be the main email address for any requests that you have related to your site. And again, thank you all for joining and have a great rest of your day. Take care.